Thank you, Ramadan, and good morning, everybody. Assalamu alaikum to everybody. And a big thanks from the Norwegian Embassy and the Norwegian Embassy office for coming. We are deeply honored that we have so many distinguished guests, ministers, deputy ministers, director generals, all kinds of experts. And basically, we are here today to learn about your own priorities in terms of stabilization. So I would like to start by thanking our very good friends at the NIS Foundation for organizing this very important meeting. We have a great cooperation with NIS. We have supported stabilization programs in Somalia since 2013. So this is the 10th year that Norway is supporting stabilization programs in Somalia. And the fact that we are now in the 10th year shows that we believe that it's important to be here as a long-term friend of Somalia and to support programs that run for a long time, because Somalia is struggling with several issues that needs careful approaches and also patience. So as a donor, we are always impatient to get results, but we also acknowledge that many of these issues are very complex and that they are they look very differently in different states. So we are very happy that all the various states and areas of Somalia are represented here today, except Somaliland, of course. The purpose of this meeting for us is to learn about your own priorities and hopefully understand your priorities, and then take our the conclusions from this meeting back to our discussions with NIS. We are entering a new phase in the program of cooperation with NIS, and we are going to use these experiences from today to draw up that program. So I have a few questions that you don't have to answer right now, but that I hope will be answered during the day. What does stabilization mean to you? That's one question. And the second is, what are your key priorities? Because this is a program with a certain amount of funding and a certain amount of resources, and we have to make sure that we focus on the key priorities. So another question is, how can we, as Norway and NIS Foundation, help you in achieving your goals in terms of stabilization? So let's try to focus a little bit on that. I also have a few general questions that I hope we can discuss a little bit today, because you represent both the federal and the member state level. And of course, as a diplomat working in Harane, we are very much part of the discussion at federal level regarding the change from AMISOM to ATMIS, and regarding the implementation of the Somalia Transition Plan. And in both of these very important discussions, stabilization is a very key component. But what does this discussion mean to you particularly in the member states. Do you feel that this discussion is relevant to your needs? Are you part of the discussion? Have you been included? And how can we make sure that we as a donor and a partner of Somalia, as Norway, contributes to a better understanding between the federal and the member state level in terms of stabilization, what stabilization means? So these are some of the questions that I hope can be answered today. To us, stabilization programs are here to bridge the gap between security and development. When an area is recovered from Al-Shabaab, or where an area is very sensitive to the conflicts in various parts of Somalia, we would like to see stabilization programs contribute to giving the government, both at federal and member state level, a real presence on the ground. A real presence in terms of delivering services, of providing infrastructure, and providing safety for the people who live in the various communities. We think that's how a stabilization program can actually stabilize the government outreach and the ability of the government to be relevant to the people's lives. Because these areas should be governed by the government and not by other groups. So that's really, really key. And as was said by the previous speakers, the various areas, the different areas and states are at different levels in terms of security and also development. And we fully acknowledge that our programming has to take that into consideration, that it has to be adapted to the situation that you're actually in. So as we are entering the 10th year of support to stabilization, I think we can safely say, and we can be proud to say, that we have achieved a lot. And a lot has been achieved by you, because this program is about you. But we also need to discuss a few of the challenges. Maybe there are some weaknesses in our programming, and maybe there are things we can do differently in the time ahead, because we want to make sure that our support to stabilization is as relevant as possible to your needs. So this is the kind of discussion I hope we can have today. And I look forward to getting to know you all. And I also look forward to visiting each and every of your states and areas in the time to come. So thank you very much again.